as President Biden and former President Donald Trump look ahead to November, what is setting off alarm bells for their respective campaigns? With their party's nominations clinched, the path to victory this fall will be more difficult for both candidates. So let's, as they would say, break it down. Yes, there you go. So let's look at the magical data visualizations that the intrepid Caleb Parker put together for us. Let's see our first. Yes. So this is Pew Research Center recent polling. So missing on that graphic, imagine that there were other parts of that wheel, but the 37% of people who have a favorable opinion of Donald Trump, but not Joe Biden. Okay, let's see if there's more colors on that wheel with the next graphic. Oh, look, there it is. 34% of people have a favorable opinion of Joe Biden, but not Donald Trump. So that's basically the same. But what's the missing piece? We know the missing piece. We know what the missing piece is. Unfavorable of both. They're called the double haters frequently. I don't call them that because that seems mean, and maybe they just don't like them. But that's the precinct in which this election gets decided, right? Okay, so what else do we know? What else does Caleb have in the magic grab bag of graphics? Okay, President Biden's job approval among Democrats. That's lower. This is from the National Opinion Research Center poll, which I love, is the primo stuff, and that sums up Joe Biden's problem in a nutshell. When he took office, Democrats were overwhelmingly in favor of him. You really need about 90% of your own party to feed the bulldog to win a presidential election. 74% is not enough. But Donald Trump must be doing great. Mustn't he? Mustn't he? Do we have a graphic that speaks to that question? What's next? We're going to see a graphic. Oh, there it is. Trump support in early GOP primaries among moderate Republicans, weak. Independents, weaker. So there you have the problem, right? This is the trap that they're both in. And the way to think about this election is basically it will be very hard for Donald Trump to replicate how well he did in 2016. And it's going to be very hard for Joe Biden to try to replicate how well he did in 2020. So we have two badly attrited candidates. One of them has been attrited with his base, and the other one has taken a shellacking among persuadables. Okay, so if that's true, dear panel, if that is true, this must be an easy opportunity for a third party to surge into the space and easily win the presidency, given the deep dissatisfaction of both, right?
It is a good moment. I'm not sure it's the best moment. Ross Perot, 19% in 1992. But it is certainly a good moment, and Democrats are certainly taking it seriously. You have the DNC stepping up their work against one in particular, RFK Jr., who they worry, just by the fact of his last name, could pull Democrats away from Joe Biden. You saw at the St. Patrick's Day event at the White House, there were a number of members of the Kennedy clan. There was a photo of all of them with Joe Biden. That did not seem unintentional. I think there was going to be an uptick in the way that the Kennedy family, and Democrats take on RFK Jr. because he is their main concern at this point, not someone like No Labels or Cornel West.
Okay, Tia, when we think about how this plays out, I'm hugely skeptical, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gigundiously skeptical. And by the way, Ross Perot did that, self-funding his own campaign, and he still got nearly 1 in 5 votes for president after briefly dropping out of the race during the race and accusing the CIA of targeting his daughter's wedding. So
normal stuff.
Normal, just totally normal. That giant sucking sound. So Jeff Duncan from Georgia dropped out of the running on No Labels and said, "I don't want no labels for me." But Georgia is definitely the kind of state you look at, when you look at suburban Atlanta, you say there's a ton of these voters out there who don't belong to either party. They're persuadable. How do you see it?
Yeah, so it's so interesting, and even the No Labels is so interesting. Jeff Duncan was on our radio show on Friday. The person who brought him into the No Labels fold was former Congresswoman Carolyn Bordeaux, a Democrat. Mm-hmm. So she's the one who invited him to start coming to the No Labels meeting and put him on their radar. So it shows that No Labels is this coalition of mostly white moderates from both parties.
They're squishy. Yes.
Yeah, and I think that at the end of the day, if Ross Perot was the banner year, and we're still talking about 20%, we're talking about potential spoilers. We're not talking about potential winners.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.